This is a testing record. I am basically testing what's going on and testing a couple of theories about the formation system. These accounts are free to play when it comes to the progress of the formation system. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not going to use limitless. I'm not going to raise the formation system into a higher level. I'm just going to use a reasonable formation level so I can test it and tell you how exactly the system works. So I have here two accounts. I tried to raise exactly those aircrafts to be at equal stats. As you can see here, 99% of the stats is similar, barely in a survive here. Like if I take a look at the stats, it's only 2% infantry and literally 2% infantry lethality. That's about it. Everything else is exactly the same. I'm not going to use any limitless because it does not actually affect the aircraft at all. At the same time, I need to test the power duel and everything. There is some interesting theories and description when it comes to the game. If you did read the carrier here effect, it says the following: the aircraft combat capabilities are determined by the squad. Okay, all the stats of the squads are effective in battle. Stats of the squad. The stats of the squad. What is the stats of the squads? So you have an idea what is that. If you go inside your settlement and you open up your aircraft, you will see the squad here. This is your squad. Both of these are your squad. If you click at overview, ignore this formation system for now. This as a whole, the aircraft number 1, the aircraft number 2, these stats are your squadron power. These are the squad stats, and the power is 7.8 million. But for the stats, these are your stats. Okay, that's one. Another thing is, let me go back. Skill effects of the formation system are determined by the lethality and the health of the squad. What does this mean? You have stats again. I just showed you. These stats are the one that affect the skills. If you have a gun, for example, the aircraft gun, the aircraft rocket launchers, etc., these are all affected by the lethality and the health of the aircraft itself. So it's not yours. So basically, if you have 2,000, 3,000 health of the infantry, that has nothing to do with how the skills function in here. It's only based on how much stats you have in your aircraft. Which takes us to one of the points, which is your aircraft gets stronger, the skills get stronger if you upgrade the formation system itself. Why? Because it adds stats, and your skills take stats from these combined by the stats itself, the total stats you're having from your aircraft, previous aircraft, and this one. I'm not sure if it takes both of them, but it takes from them. Maybe it takes from them combined, maybe it takes one of them. I'm not certain, but it takes from these stats. It doesn't take from your own stats. That's one. What is interesting comes later on when they say that the power duels is determined by the squad power. This is an issue. Why it's an issue? Because the power of the squad can be misleading. For example, the power of squad in here, you can see it from inside. It's 18 million point 9. On the other hand, for the other account, you see, it has a bit more extra. It has more. Like the first one is 18. The second one is slightly more. Now what I want to do is I want to unlock the power duel. So far, the first aircraft and the second aircraft has no power duel. Why? because power dual unlocks when you unlock air command. Without the air command, there is no power dual. But let me make sure that the skills are exactly the same. Let me check the components here. The steel cannon. Okay, each one of them is at 1. Let me check this. Each one of them is at 1. This one, 2. So I have no idea why it's not the same. Anyway, now what I'm going to test is the following. First of all, I am going to open up the air command skill. Once I open up the air command skill, we can see the power dual, which is interesting, by the way. All of that is the reason I am trying to explain to you all of that first before I go through the reason why should you upgrade the specific component. Now I'm going to upgrade the formation system to unlock the air command. In both has to be equal. See here, air command unlocks at level 40. So I have air command now. Air command enable what we call the power dual. I will go back in here and enable power dual too. So both of these, they have air command, which means they have power dual. So according to the description, one of these aircraft must lose because it has less power, less squad power. Like, let's see the power of this squad and let's see the power of the other aircraft. They are both at same level, maybe slightly, just slightly. This is slightly more, and I will explain to you why this is actually a dangerous thing. Now I'm going to attack both of these aircraft, make some attack between them. I am using old heroes. There is no need. I'm even using tier 11. I don't want to complicate things, so I'm going to attack with both accounts. Here. So what will happen is, according to the description, if the squad power is higher, this means the other aircraft is going to lose just because the squad power higher, even though both of the skills, as you can see, is the same. So is this gonna happen now? Okay, let's check this one before we even go to the report. The one that just lost is this one. I'm gonna see if it's the lower squad power or not. See, it is the lower squad power. So now I'm going to test the theory and I'm going to explain to you why it might be a dangerous one. One of the aircraft, they are both almost same stats, like 2% only difference, but one of the aircrafts had slightly more squad power, even though both of them has the same level. Like literally I leveled up each one of them exactly the same. I even showed you. I'm gonna use an old generation, even tier 11. I'm not gonna even use tier 12 because it has some RNG on it, and see what will happen. As expected, the lower squad aircraft has lost. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, this aircraft has lost because the squad power of the aircraft is lower than the squad power of the black cat. Like, I have a green cat in here and I have a black cat. For the first couple of turns, this green cat lost to the black cat, even though both of them has exactly the same squad skills. One of them might have just extra slight squad power, but that has nothing to do with the formation. Like you see here, the squad power is this, the skill is the same, level 1 and level 1 at the same time. If I did open up, this one has slightly more, like 20k only, and the skill is exactly the same, level 1 and level 1. You see, and it's still 1. So to even prove it, I'm going to upgrade this one even further. Like, I'm gonna even add one extra upgrade to see how much the difference would be. 1, it's 7k per one. 2, that's an 8k extra. So how much is now? So I have made 2 extra upgrades. According to the game, the squad power makes you win the power duel. I wanna see if this is real or not. The squad power in the other one is 165, but I did not level up anything. This is dangerous, and I will explain the reason. This means if you basically split your stats, your upgrades, it's gonna be much better than focusing on a specific upgrade. Here's the first aircraft, and this is the weaker aircraft in terms of squad power. Like the first one I used is this one has in numbers only higher in squad power, and this one, which I'm going to use now, has less but more skills upgraded. Will it win or lose? I'm not talking about winning the whole battle, I'm talking about winning the duel itself. Initially looks like it won, but my concern is not that. My concern, oh my god, it even won by a lot. What's wrong? Why? Okay, my concern now will be, did it win the duel or not? Yes, I was right. And this is really not a good thing. If the aircraft won now, because it had, oh my god, because it had more skills, so obviously the gun is stronger, but the aircraft lost the power duel. I have no levels on this, and this is actually a very scary thing, guys. If you think about it, the power duel later on, when you upgrade the skills, when you upgrade the rocket launchers, when you apply the punishment system and the engine steel, it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna really be an issue. Why? Because power duel later on will basically decide whether you are going to win or lose. But now I just, as you can see, I won. Later on, I'm not talking about the power duel now. I won because my gun is obviously stronger than the Black Cat's gun because I have upgraded the skill, but it lost the power duel. Let me repeat it again. This aircraft of the Green Cat had the stronger, but it lost because the squad power itself is weak. It just weak in number. So even though I had more stats, it didn't matter. You know? It really did not matter. And even if I tried to put maybe higher tier of troops, I'm still going to lose the power duel because it has nothing to do with your troops. It has nothing to do with your stats. It has something to do with how the power number is. How much is the power number? Like, okay, look. For the sake of trying, I'm going to use what you call limitless. Okay, let's use limitless. Even though it's not fair, but I just want to prove a point that you will still lose the power duel, even though you have. See, I'm going to use a tier 12, I'm going to use a limitless, and I'm going to use I don't want to make it ridiculous. I'm just gonna make the marches at least similar in terms of amount of troops, but of course this is unfair. But my point is, even though I switched troops, I switched everything, I am still going to lose because my aircraft has less in power. is less in power. The crazy thing is this aircraft actually has 2 extra skills. Is it going to lose the power duel or not? This is what we will see right now. I'm not talking about the battle itself, I'm talking about the power duel. I put tier 12 troops and I did put a limitless. Let's see here. Obviously it's devastating lose, but I'm not talking about that. I want to see if I'm going to lose the power duel or not. A green cat, look. Again. Green cat, the aircraft is on fire. Here. Green cat, and guess what? Green cat has tier 12, green cat has limitless, yet green cat lost the power duel, which is my concern, guys, which is my proof to my point that the power duel, if you want to win the power duel, your skills has to be split. You can no longer focus on one upgrade. Okay, so what is the conclusion from all of that is that when it comes to upgrading as a free-to-play or a mid spender or a high spender, your upgrade should be balanced. It is the best. The reason is the more squad power, the more you will win. This too affects the amount of investment you did in the aircraft. Like here, for example, if your aircraft is not maxed yet, you should max it because it does increase the power. And if you go here, for example, in the components, you have to upgrade every single one of these, but in balance. Like, don't max anything. If I want to upgrade something, I will keep upgrading to the point that it gives me more squad power. If I take this, for example, all the way to max, I'm gonna lose so much materials. But at the same time, if I balance it out, like for example, if I use the same resource here and there, and I just balance it out and added way more nodes to me, I will be winning. I will win, even if the skills of the other aircraft is better. I'm not talking about winning the battle, I'm talking about winning the duel. Why winning the duel is important is because of the steel turret. Once you upgrade the steel turrets and everything is like really maxed in here, it's gonna be a big deciding factor. So here is another thing, like it adds up to everything. It literally adds up to everything when you join a rally. So if the total squad power when you join the aircraft is more than the enemy squad power, you will shut down them. Once you shut down them, literally all the skills like steel cannon, even if it's a powerful, it's gonna get shut down for 7 turns. No force, no steel wings, nothing, no steel armor, and steel engine is gonna rape the other aircraft, whether it is rally leader or not. So here is your answer, guys. What to upgrade, how to upgrade, balance it out. Balance it out, split your upgrades between your aircraft. If you unlock the steel cannon, don't go crazy. Just upgrade enough to have enough, because you're free to play. You might not be able to upgrade everything, but what matters is upgrading the right nodes and balancing it out. For example, if it takes you too much points to upgrade the first node, the missiles, split it, man. Get 5 here, 5 in strength, 5 in slit missiles, 5 in assault training, and 5 in long range training, and 5 on steel turret, etc. That's how you should upgrade, since your resources are limited. Because this will increase your squad power. Increasing your squad power means you are going to help your aircraft, your rally aircraft, if you are joining a rally, to win. Okay, I hope this answered really your questions, and I hope this video was really helpful for you. If if you still don't understand what you're supposed to upgrade, what I'm supposed to do about it, like seriously, it's very clear now that you need to balance it out, because balancing it out is going to make you win power duels in the rally, which means the rally leader, who's way stronger than you, will be able to win the power duel, and if he won the power duel, the entire system for the enemy aircraft is going to be shut off. That's it, guys, and have a wonderful day.